Akiva Eldar is a political analyst and contributor to the Haaretz newspaper, and he's joining us live from Tel Aviv. Thank you, as always, for your time, Mr. Eldar. So, Israel has said that Israeli army radio is saying that they were going after a high-profile target in al-Mawasi, in which 71 people have been killed, nearly 300 injured. What is it that you think? What is Israel's strategy here?
First of all, Elizabeth, unfortunately, if you look at the number of fatalities and the homeless people and the destruction of Gaza, you know, in proportion to this, another 70 people dead, in the eyes of the Israeli government, Netanyahu, and unfortunately the Israeli public opinion, it's worse. The death of someone as senior as Mohammed Deif or Sinai, because this will allow Netanyahu to declare the absolute victory and to have the victory image or footage. And maybe, paradoxically, this will be the exit way, the exit strategy. I don't believe that there is strategy. And regarding what my former guest said, I don't give the Israeli government too much credit for orchestrating this, and because the Israeli army has got a hit list, and Mohammed Deif was there, and they have a carte blanche to hit Mohammed Deif or Sinwar no matter what, because the war, as there is a consensus in the army and the military apparatus and the military analysts, the war against Hamas has come to its climax. Every day we are losing another soldier. The war in the north is continuing, and Israel is looking for a way out before Netanyahu gets to Washington and to the Congress. He has to be able to declare some victory. And maybe Mohammed Deif was on the hit list, and it coincided with Netanyahu's timeline. But I believe that there are completely different agendas, military agenda and political diplomatic agenda.
It sounds like you're saying, Mr. Eldar, that the Israeli government and Netanyahu don't actually have a strategy. We know that the military has said that Israel cannot win this war. They can't defeat Hamas because Hamas is more than a military group in Gaza. And it sounds like you're saying that Israel is just looking for wins in terms of this hit list that they have, including Mohammed Deif, who was the head of Hamas's military wing, Al-Qassam brigades, who they have tried to assassinate multiple times, haven't succeeded. Hamas is saying they haven't succeeded this time either. But do you think that this would be... What is it that Netanyahu wants to achieve? Before you mentioned that they're going to Congress, he is going to Congress, the US Congress he's been invited to speak in front of on the 24th of July. Is it that he wants to achieve something before he goes to the US Congress?
Actually, it's a very complicated timing, because he wants to go to the United States and he's going to get first time a meeting at the White House with President Biden. But on one hand, he would like to appear next to President Biden and being able to give him something, at least not to embarrass him. You know, he's got too many cases of embarrassment. He doesn't need another one. On the other hand, Netanyahu is looking at the polls, and he knows that President Trump still, former president and candidate Trump, didn't forgive him for calling Biden after, and it was a few weeks after he was inaugurated president in 2020. So he has to be very careful to walk on a very thin strip and not to give Biden, you know, the victory image. So I am not sure if Netanyahu is going to end the war before July 24th, when he reaches the American Congress and the White House. But there is a consensus among the military leadership, including Minister of Defense, Gallant, who believe that Israel has a commitment to get the hostages back. And I want to remind you, Elizabeth, that there are American citizens, people who are holding American passports among the captives. One more thing. Next week, the International Court of Justice is going to release its report on the occupation. And what happens today with the images coming from Gaza is not going to help Israel, let alone that we are still waiting to see what the International Court of Criminal Court is going to say about arrest warrants against Netanyahu and Gallant. And I'm sure that they watch Al Jazeera today or other networks. And, you know, in Israel, you don't see the images from Gaza, but I'm sure that they are watching Al Jazeera and they will have something to say about it.
Mr. Eldar, thank you very much for your analysis. That is Akiva Eldar joining us live from Tel Aviv.